Gary Gensler's under attack again. Bitcoin hit 30k. It has pulled back quite severely. There's a lot to get through in today's crypto news. Jumping over to CoinGecko. Here, the cryptocurrency prices by market cap 1.25 trillion, up 3.4 in the last 24 hours. So you can see Bitcoin 28,000. We will get into the price of these two coins. Last 24 hours, everything is starting to go back into neutral or negative territory. I'll show you the Bitcoin chart. And I turned it into log, and you can see it here. What a drop. So we did tap 30,000 just here, just over. We've come down and we've gapped down. Actually, very healthy for the market. Before we get too far, this video is not financial advice. Carrying on, Ethereum 1839, same deal. Bit of a pump up, got above 1950, and it has dropped straight back down. We will keep you up to date with what is going on as this develops. Having a look at crypto bubbles. This was looking a lot better half an hour ago when I started getting this video ready, and everything's just really dropped out of it. Render there, biggest gainer of the day as well as Radix looking very good. Something to keep your eyes on. We've got a video of Gary Gensler, and he gets destroyed by the crypto Twitter community. But let's just bring this up. We'll hit play.
So we already know in the US and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs, or not what would be called security.
3/4 of the crypto market are not ICOs, or not what we could call securities. Let's keep going.
Even in the US, Canada, and Taiwan, the 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about.
Oh, due to the Howey test, they shouldn't be classed as securities. How interesting.
3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity,
non-securities,
cash, crypto. So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter, as a regulatory matter. Brodish.
So unfortunate that the puppet masters are pulling his strings on Twitter. I did message him and saying that, who is pulling your puppet strings? Why don't you be a man? Stand up. He clearly knows what's going on in the space. He's in a different capacity in law enforcement. Maybe the power's gone to his head, but it's probably really not his agenda. He's just one of those people that need to do what he's told. So Gensler links crypto with cash in viral 2018 video. Crypto Twitter reacts. A couple of things here. Crypto community is calling out the alleged hypocrisy of Gary G after a 2018 video emerged of him stating that cryptocurrencies are on par with commodities or cash and are not securities. On the topic of ICOs, Gensler said that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs, or not what would be called securities, naming the US, Canadian, and Taiwanese markets as 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test. 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just commodity, cash, crypto, Gensler said. So he did acknowledge that ICOs may spark a security debate. He concluded that 3/4 of the market is not particularly relevant as a legal matter. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong commented back a mere well in response to that tweet as well. It is doing the rounds on Twitter. You will see it there on my Twitter account as well, at Sean Clark 911. Now this is getting really interesting. Just to phrase the story that we're about to go into, it's about the World Economic Forum. The other day on this channel here, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. We'll keep you up to date with news with the fast facts. But what the WEF has done is they are starting to ramp up their propaganda machine and bring information out going pro blockchain. Now, we saw that video the other day where what looks like Bitcoin miners is a Bitcoin mining company speaking with flare-offs and gas. And now the West's saying that blockchain can be a tool to fight climate change as well. If you haven't read Klaus Schwab's book, The Great Reset, the green economy is a huge focus of the elites. You'll be happy and own nothing is their agenda. and they'll push it out, saving the environment, and all these things, ideologies in and of themselves are good. But the way they want to go about it is we won't own anything. We're meant to be happy. They'll own everything. But in regards to what they're saying, they've recently published a white paper that explains how blockchains are able to provide the needed infrastructure to fight against climate change at speed and scale. This is their tweet here. Hopefully you can see that nicely. We've just published a WEF white paper detailing blockchain technology's valuable role in the global effort to fight climate change. So firstly, and this is what we all know for years, firstly, blockchains are able to strengthen trust and ambition within climate negotiations. Then they can improve market transparency and credibility. So the WEF wrote that digitization democratizes access to climate action. They did go on to say that it's very important to consider and research emerging technologies as tools to help address climate change. Global climate infrastructure, I'll talk about, it's going to be a little bit tinfoil hat, but after I read this, I'll sum up a couple of my thoughts in regards to it. Global climate infrastructure tools and coordination technologies can all help us keep pace with our changing planetary ecosystem. This is where blockchain and shared infrastructure technologies can be helpful. There's a need for constructive regulation that supports responsive digital climate innovation. Dana, the CEO of Blockchain Climate Project, Flow Carbon, this goes beyond cryptocurrencies and encompasses what can be built on the blockchain as well. So it's nice. The WEF is putting that information out in regards to how blockchain technology and even Bitcoin mining can be a force for good with nature. And we know how green Bitcoin is. I know the media puppets and stuff don't spread that message, but it is working towards sustainability and you offsets a lot of that energy that would have been wasted or could even stop blackouts in certain ways. With the WEF coming out with their blockchain technology campaign, it's interesting. It could go one of two ways. They could adopt Bitcoin decentralized blockchain technology, but it'll probably be a centralized blockchain they want to push out, probably more so part of the CBDC agenda. As the story progresses, we'll keep you up to date in regards to that. So we'll flip over. More big money funds. $1.4 trillion financial giant expands its money market fund on Polygon. What's happening is a lot of money is starting to come into the space, and Polygon's obviously a big winner here. So Franklin Templeton, with about $1.4 trillion under management, said its on-chain US government money market fund is now supporting Ethereum 2 via Layer 2 blockchain Polygon. It is nice to see that adoption is happening with the blockchain technology. We're at that crunch point in time where crypto's either going to zero or it's going all the way to the moon, if you want to call it that, Lambo time for the degens out there. But having mass adoption and money market funds like that have 1.4 trillion in assets adopting this technology and using it, even if they adopt the technology and then centralize it in a way, even though it's decentralized technology, it's still good for the space. It brings awareness to the space. That's where I think it's heading. Now, Circle, they unveil a new method for moving USDC between blockchains. This is cool. This is actually really cool. My apologies about the above. I forgot to change that this morning. So the titles are a little bit off. I'll fix that tomorrow for you. Now, the cross-chain transfer protocol seeks to improve liquidity of the major crypto payment rails. So called the Cross-Chain Transfer Protocol, or CCTP, the technology will be used initially for USDC transfers between ETH and Avalanche, with more chains coming in the second half of 23. DeFi apps can integrate relevant smart contracts to make it easy for users to move their stablecoins. Last two things here. Circle's new method seeks to replace bridges, which solved that problem by creating another asset, a derivative token called a wrapped asset. CCTP works by destroying USDC on the source chain and recreating on the destination chain. Should be faster, cheaper than bridges as well. Nice to see. And then USDC is not fragmented everywhere. which is good. Obviously, First Republic Bank yesterday, if you haven't heard it, shares fell 50% after reporting dramatic slump in deposits. So it's like a $100 billion plunge in deposits in the quarter, sparking fears that it could be the third bank to fail after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Regulators and stuff have put together a little bit of a fund, or they had a fund there as well for it. So it's probably classed as too big to fail. A lot of people probably made a lot of money shorting that. So there are always opportunities in the market. At the end of the day, for me, I want to get as much Bitcoin, use those other projects to be able to stack more Bitcoin. I'll do me, you do you. Have a very beautiful day. We'll see you on the next one. Be blessed. Peace.